additional information. Earlier today, a number of our citizens, beautiful children, had their life taken away from them, as well as adults whose responsibility it was to educate and supervise those children. The perpetrator of the crime is dead, as is an individual who the perpetrator lived with. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Paul Vance, who will answer, or will give you some additional information, and then later in the day, perhaps we'll speak again. Again, I think on behalf of the people of the state of Connecticut, we extend our condolences, as I have at the firehouse, to the parents of these children, as well as the adults that are there. I want to thank the President, who has been on the phone with us today for his statement released to you a little while ago, as well as the statements he made to me much earlier today as the hours raced by. And with that, I should also say that there are a number of public officials, including the First Select Woman, who has been on site throughout the day. We have state representatives, state senator, other select people who are here. We have the superintendent of schools who has done wonderful work in helping us get the information necessary to begin the processes that will be ongoing for a number of hours in advance. I want to thank Senator Blumenthal and Senator-elect Murphy for also joining us. With that, I'm going to absent myself. Mr. Vance will come forward and speak to you. Thank you very much.
Hi, good evening. I just would like to restate some of the information that we made available earlier. We'll take some questions, but I must preface my remarks by saying this is an active, ongoing investigation. There's a great deal of work to go, and there's a lot of things that we cannot confirm or discuss as of yet. But shortly after 9:30 this morning, Newtown Police Department received a call for help at the Sandy Hook Elementary School here in Newtown. Upon realizing the intensity and the difficulty of the situation, Newtown called for surrounding police departments and state police to respond to assist. Upon arrival of law enforcement officers at the school, they immediately entered the school as we knew this was an potential active shooter situation. Their focus was to search for students, faculty, and staff and remove them to a safe area outside of the school. They did search every nook and cranny, every room, and every portion of that school and accomplished that task. They took the rescue to a staging area to reunite them with family members. As has been reported, there were fatalities. There were 18 children who were pronounced dead at the school. There were 2 that were transported to area hospitals and pronounced dead at area hospitals. And there were 6 adults pronounced dead at the scene at the school. As the governor has reported, the shooter is deceased. It's deceased in the school. There's a great deal of work going on relative to that. That's the reason we have not identified him as of yet. And by that I mean search warrants, examination of areas of residence, employment, and any ancillary things that may be attached to the identity and to that individual. The scene has been secured. Newtown police officers, state police major crime units from both Western District and Central District have responded and are working with several agencies to process this scene. It is not a simplistic scene, as you can certainly understand. We need to establish identity, we need to document the entire scene, and simply stated, we need to answer every single question surrounding exactly how and why this incident occurred. As the governor said, we will be here through the night, and certainly through the weekend, and we're not even putting a time stamp on this as to when we will complete this project. We'll work with the medical examiner's office. We have to establish positive identification, and again, there's a great deal of work that needs to be done here at this school. We'll take some very brief questions, but understand that this is an active, ongoing case, and there are many things that we cannot and will not discuss at this time. Yes, sir. There is a secondary crime scene here in Newtown. That is in fact correct. There is an adult deceased at that location. I can't discuss any further information on that at this time. There is assistance being lended to us by New Jersey. I don't have the details on that, so I can't answer that. I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am. Okay, I can simply state that the information that we have right now that we want to publicize that the shootings did take place in one section of the school in 2 rooms. Okay, one section in 2 rooms. That's as much as we want to go in right now as far as location. Our personnel are documenting that entire scene, and we'll have literally everything mapped out in the final report, final information. We'll present the answers to those questions. But right now, I don't have any more detail than that. Okay. You had a question, sir. Someone. Right now, there's one shooter, but again, we're still looking at every ancillary fact and circumstance related to the deceased shooter at the scene. Yes, sir? No, I don't have that information. I'm sorry. To be determined, I don't have the answer to that question either. The next step will be the medical examiner's office will certainly assist us in answering a lot of those questions, the manner and cause of death of all of the deceased. That's it. 26 deceased. One injury. One person was injured. Yes. I'm sorry? They're in one section or one area of the school. That's the best I can do on that answer. I don't know specifically how many rooms were involved. I was told that there were 2, but in one section of the school building. Everyone was in that same section of the building. Not to be determined. So a section of the building is as far as we want to go. We did not. That's to be determined once the postmortem examinations are complete. I'm sorry? 20 children, six adults, and the shooter. 27 total. That's correct. And the one at the house. That's correct. That's at the school itself. And then there's one more, as we just said, at a secondary crime scene. There's a deceased adult at a secondary crime scene. Yes, ma'am. To be determined. That's really something that our investigators are going to have to look at thoroughly and completely, and that'll take some time to try and answer that question. We haven't established any of that, ma'am. We have not made any positive identifications. We're working on that. There's some preliminary identifications been made, but we have, as I said, a great deal of work. That's one thing we have to do is establish positive identification on all the deceased, and that's a time-consuming process. I don't. No, I don't.